The Vajiri were convinced that spirits dwelled on Sanctuary and in places outside the physical world. While the clan sorceresses could not directly commune with these entities, they believed contact was possible. Thus, the driving goal of the Vajiri became to perfect the arts of conjuring and summoning spirits. For years, the clan conducted experiments and carried out empirical research into the practices of druids and necromancers, both of which successfully contacted spirits in their own ways. Yet, for all of the combined intellect and dedication of the Vajiri mages, they could only hear a whisper of the beings they sought. Jir Harash was a most forgettable member of the Vajiri sorceresses. As a young acolyte, he aspired to one day represent his clan on the Mage Council, but he was always outshined by his more talented peers. His growing frustrations came to a head when his parents and sister were killed during a short-lived feud between the Vajiri and the Amute clans. As his heart roiled with anger and rage at the tragedy, Harash reached out to the spirits and made contact, succeeding where so many of his fellow sorceresses had failed. Yet, the entity he summoned into our world was one neither he nor the Vajiri could have ever fathomed. A demon of pure hate and malice. And with that, the once ineffectual Jir Harash was etched into the annals of history forever. Whether the Vajiri originally knew that the summoned being was a demon is unclear, but I have no doubt they believed it was something more than an ancestor's spirit. I can only surmise that Harash's success, in reality, hinged on the dark emotions he was feeling at the time. Perhaps his anger and rage somehow attuned him to one of the burning hell's realms. Whatever the root cause, Harash quickly recognized the perils of the murderous creature he had summoned. After restraining it with binding spells, he informed the Vajiri elders of his discovery. It is of utmost importance to note that the moment of Harash's breakthrough, the prime evils of the burning hells became aware of Sanctuary's existence for the first time. This was, of course, unknown to the Vajiri. Even after the demon had been summoned, there was much controversy among them concerning the new art Harash had discovered. Some of the sorceresses feared that these dangerous entities could not be fully controlled and posed a threat to the entire world. The one thing the clan members all agreed upon was that the existence of demons should be kept secret. This explains their retelling of Harash's discovery and their willingness to adopt the lie that they were merely communing with the spirits of the dead, and by doing so, the clan could claim innocence of any wrongdoing should the powers it was experimenting with lead to disaster. So successful were they in this farce that the Vajiri eventually became known as the Spirit Clan. The Vajiri eventually grew confident that if they could control one demon, they could control others. The clan sorceresses set about summoning more and more of the Burning Hell's minions into Sanctuary for short periods. While the clan had no intentions of using the demons as weapons, the mages concluded that there were much to be learned from these creatures about the universe and new forms of magic. Alas, as we have witnessed so many times throughout history, humankind's insatiable greed for lust and power took hold of the Vajiri. Once having tasted of forbidding demonic powers, the clan decided that with its newfound abilities, it could enslave Hell's denizens and use them to dominate not only Kajan, but the entire world as well. Other mage clans, through their own sources, learned of something mysterious and sinister taking place within the Vajiri ranks. What actions were taken by the other clans in light of this intelligence have thus far eluded my inquiries. It did not take the prime evils long to see potential in mortals. They sensed within humanity the dormant powers of the Nephilim, a way to tip the scales of the eternal conflict. And as such, They resolved to subtly corrupt human beings and turn their latent powers against the high heavens. With humankind under demonic influence, the Primes would have at their command a loyal and unfathomable powerful army. So it was that Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal cast their influence upon mortal minds, spreading their twisted ideas far across Sanctuary. Their whispers led to the formation of the Triune, a seemingly altruistic religion that worshipped three benevolent spirits. In truth, these were representations of the prime evils themselves. Dialon, the spirit of determination, was Diablo. Mephis, the spirit of love, was Mephisto. And Bala, the spirit of creation, was Baal. It is ironic that the prime evils' guises embodied traits that were in direct opposition to their actual qualities of terror, hatred, and destruction. The popularity of the religion grew rapidly, and before long, a large percentage of ancient Khajan's populace had flocked to the Triune. The rank-and-file members of the church, of course, did not realize that their patron spirits were lords of the burning hells. Key to the Prime's deception was that the Triune falsely stood for the principles of unity and humankind's innate power. The religion constructed a magnificent grand temple in Khajan. The sprawling triangular edifice boasted 3 high towers, each of which was dedicated to one of the Triune spirits. The organization was so devoted to giving the impression of being a peaceful group that it even referred to the temple's warriors as peace warders. Only the highest ranking members of the Triune knew the truth. Behind the facade of determination, love, and creation was a vile cult which practiced all manners of demonic rituals. It was known to lure in unsuspecting initiates and practice fiendish acts of torture on them for the perverse thrill of its true primeval masters. With these horrors in mind, it should come as no surprise that the religion was led by none other than Lucian, the son of Mephisto. The Triune's rapid growth perplexed the mage clans and other institutions that had, until then, held an uncontested sway over Khajan's populace. From accounts I've read of this era, it seems that these groups believed the Triune to be nothing more than a passing fancy. Therefore, they simply stood by as more and more victims were lured into the jaws of the prime evil's false religion. As a final note, one might ask whether Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal knew the truth concerning humanity's divine parentage. From what I have gleaned from my studies, it is unclear. I have discovered, however, that the prime evils made a point of keeping Sanctuary's existence a secret from as many of their lesser brethren as they could. This lack of trust would sour the relations among the lords of the burning hells, and, I believe, lead in some part to the Dark Exile, an event which I will talk about later.